Emmanuel Macron has been warned if his aggressive strategy around fishing in a post-Brexit trade deal backfires, he will end up with egg on his face and be faced with a difficult conversation with French fishermen. The French president has been insistent throughout trade negotiations that access for his country's fishermen into British waters should not be compromised as part of any agreement between London and Brussels. The EU figurehead has continued to warn France's fishermen will not be sacrificed as part of the now bitter and long-running Brexit process. On Friday, Boris Johnson piled the pressure on the EU by calling a halt to talks with Brussels on a trade deal, warning Britain to prepare for a final no-deal Brexit. Fishing has been a major stumbling block in negotiations, with both sides remaining a significant distance apart over their demands for their respective industries after Brexit. Britain wants fishing quotas to be renegotiated in an annual basis, but the EU has argued this would make it impossible for the industry to make investment decisions. Mr. Macron warned on Thursday our fishermen will not be the victims of Brexit, and added, "We didn't make that choice. The British people did." He also warned France is ready for a no-deal outcome. But this has sparked a furious reaction from Brexiteer Daniel Kaczynski, who warned if the French president continues to overplay his cards on fishing, he will end up with egg on his face. The Conservative MP for Shrewsbury and Atcham also warned should that happen, Mr. Macron will have to have a difficult conversation with his fishermen as to why there is no further access to British waters at all. Mr. Kaczynski told Express, Macron has to please his fishing unions, but we're not scared of a no-deal. It would be much more difficult for them because in a no-deal scenario, they will lose everything. At the moment, French fishing vessels will have licenses that are negotiated on an annual basis, and the government is now talking about a 3-year transition period to implement some of these changes, which I think is over-generous. If Macron overplays his cards, he will end up with egg on his face and will have to have a difficult conversation with his fishermen as to why there is no further access to British waters at all. The Brexiter labelled Mr. Macron's comments discourteous and disrespectful and has bemused the French president has not yet understood the UK is now an independent sovereign nation and French fishermen won't have the same access to British waters after Brexit. He has also urged the UK government not to make any further concessions on fishing and to walk away with no deal if the French are not prepared to compromise. Mr. Kaczynski told this website, Macron is playing true to form. What he is saying again is highly discourteous and disrespectful.